Hello, this is Gregory Becker, and this is Week 1, Module 3 of Developing the Risk Management Plan with Expert Judgment. In this module, we're going to talk about the infamous iron triangle of projects: cost, schedule, and scope. And we're going to see how those concepts integrate into a project management plan. So let's get going.
In this session, we again consider the iron triangle of project management. That is cost, scope, and time. The first end of that triangle is project budget. How much is the project going to cost? How is that cost going to be allocated over a budget? The second is project schedule. Are we going to get the project done on time? What work packages are going to take the longest time? What the shortest? Which are the ones on the critical path? The third aspect of the triangle is the deliverables, the scope. What is it that the project is going to do, and what quality is required? And of course, the scope depends a lot on the requirements. What are the stated needs of the project? So let's look at the first apex of the triangle, project budget. Here on the left-hand side are some classic projects throughout history: the Suez Canal, the Sydney Opera House, the Concorde airliner of Air France, the Panama Canal, the Brooklyn Bridge. And in the right-hand column, the cost overruns on each of those projects. Project cost overruns are common. We would be deceitful if we said they weren't. But how good is the budget to begin with? If the budget is not well crafted and well thought out, it's likely that we're going to be over budget because we didn't anticipate all the things that might happen. And the things that might happen, well, they comprise two different kinds of risks. Controllable risks, that is, risks that are within the purview of the project manager to control and manage, and uncontrollable risks, for example, exchange rate fluctuations, market conditions, climate impacts, risks that are not within the control of the project manager. And so now let's look at the second apex of the iron triangle, project schedule. Lots of things that can go wrong in project schedule. First are the obvious things. When we're putting together a schedule, we estimate or appraise activity durations. We may be wrong. Well, we surely will be wrong. The question is, how wrong will we be? The critical path is the longest chain of activities through our schedule. That's the path. That's the total duration of the project that controls how long we will take from the start to the finish of the entire project. Maybe we're wrong about the critical path. Maybe things will happen during the project that changes the activity durations of activities on the critical path. And so the path that we thought was critical no longer will be, and some other path will become critical instead. How big is the cost of these slips? Well, that is, project schedule, the activity durations, the changes in critical path, those have to do with probability, but how big are the consequences? And what are the consequences? Well, there's direct costs. I mean, if we take longer to do certain activities, we will have people working on that activity for longer times. They will be getting paid more money, and so the direct costs will go up. There will also be impacts on financing costs. We are financing the project either with loans or with other financial instruments, and the longer the project takes, the interests on those loans or other financial interests accrue. And finally, and most importantly sometimes, and often forgotten, is the effect on project revenues. When we were talking about the Panama Canal, the new third locks, one of the issues was if the canal was delayed, the canal authority would lose the associated revenues that they might have earned from ships transiting the canal had the canal opened earlier. So project revenues are also important.
Hi, I hope you're enjoying this free lesson from the University of Maryland's Project Management Center for Excellence. If you want to check out more lessons just like this one, click the link in the description below where you'll be able to go to our website on executive project management. There, you can find edX courses, professional short courses where you can learn from an instructor like me, as well as request custom team training for you and your organization. All right, let's get back to the lesson, and I'll see you at the end.
Well, the third apex of the iron triangle is scope, requirements, and quality. And this is often said to be the weak underbelly of project risk management. Changes in scope, sometimes called scope creep, are really killers if you're trying to stay on schedule. So the first thing we need to do is we need to understand the scope. We need to have the scope well documented. We need to have it understood by all the stakeholders on the project, by the owner, by the potential ultimate users, by the project team, by the financiers, and others. If there are to be scope changes, those changes need to be agreed to by all of the participants, by all the stakeholders, and they need to be well documented. They need to be well documented to protect you, the project manager, and to make sure that everybody understands the impact that a scope change will have both on project cost and on project schedule. Subcontractor performance can be a major impact on scope. The subcontractor may or may not deliver to requirements and to the quality necessary, and his or her performance needs to be monitored. And with respect to monitoring, we need to have a well-documented quality control and quality assurance plan. That's the way we maintain that the project is delivering the requirements and it's delivering the scope. Well, all of those axes in the iron triangle involve uncertainties, and that's the nature of project risk management, how to deal with those uncertainties, how to identify what they are, how to assess how important they are, and then how to manage or mitigate them. Internal risks, those which under the control of the project manager, obviously need to be controlled, and we need to have plans for how they're controlled. External risks, those which are uncontrolled, they need some scheme of mitigation. If we can't control them, we have to know what we're going to do if they start to happen. And some of the things we can do both for internal, but especially for external risks, is we can attempt to figure out ways to transfer those risks to other entities. For example, we could insure them. We could hire subcontractors who are more adept at managing certain or have more experience at certain kinds of risks. And there are some other approaches as well. So all of the aspects of the iron triangle involve uncertainty and therefore involve risks. So where are we going next? So in the next module, we're going to pick up where we left off at the end of the first module, talking about the expansion of the Panama Canal. We're going to talk about how that project came out. Spoiler alert, the new third locks are in operation. They seem to be operating well, but they took somewhat longer to get done than had originally been planned and cost a little bit more than had originally been thought.
Hey there, did you enjoy that lesson as much as I did? If you did, go ahead and give us a like. If you want to see another one, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, put them below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Moreover, is there somebody in your life who really needs this lesson right now? If so, go ahead and share it with them. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Now, we look forward to seeing you in the next lesson where you can learn even more from the University of Maryland Project Management Center for Excellence. Thanks so much.